Hello. Hello. So,
Okay.
make co-host. There you go. That should be good. You can share your screen and everything, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, I think I'm running chat and you're doing the lesson, if I remember right. Yeah. So you can admit people and do everything, right? Oh, well, because I'm happy to admit them, but just let me know when.
Okay. Let me try sharing my screen now.
Yeah. We'll only do that. We'll only do like 5 minutes.
Is there a way that hmm,
What do you need, sorry?
I'm trying to share my screen?
Hmm.
Yeah, I can't find the option.
Ah, okay. I can try and make you host instead. Try that now.
Hmm,
Because
not sure what's going
I
on.
can share my screen and then just try and um like go through it on your like as once you're done with the slide, I can just skip to the next one.
You,
Yeah, it's not great though.
do you know, like, could you direct me, like, to what to press to share it?
Well,
'Cause isn't it?
it should just be on the bottom row. Now you're a host, you should be able to do it on the bottom row of stuff with mute, start video, etc. Should be in the middle section with the chat. Should just be a share screen option.
Yeah, all I've got is one participant can share at a time, multiple participants can share simultaneously,
Hmm,
advanced sharing options, and there's nothing else.
very strange.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, I just switched that because I'm just trying to change it quickly. Uh, there's a chance you might have to rejoin through the Zoom, but I'm not. But that might take a while.
Okay, I think yeah, if you could just get the slides up and then I'll just
Yeah,
go
that's
through.
all good. I've made you co-host anyway, so
Mhm.
hopefully that does something. But yeah,
Yeah, great.
yeah,
Yeah. And there's people, I think we can let the people in now.
yeah, all good.
Mhm.
Uh, there we go. That should be everyone.
Okay. Yeah. So after everyone joins, I think we'll just send the link in the chat.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna start now. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Peace. I'll be your tutor for today. I'm a little bit ill, but I'm gonna try my best to get through this. So welcome to the half-term code camp, day 2. And today we'll be focusing on printing and variables. So if you could just go to the next slide, please. Our objectives for today, we're gonna find out how to use the print function, understand different types of variables, and we're going to be printing them as well. Next slide. So I I would say that Python is my favorite programming language. I feel like it's much easier to use than like Java and C++. I learned it very early on and I just love it. So it's used in Spotify, Instagram. I know it's also used in The Sims as well, which I was excited to find out. So next slide. So you guys are going to be running your code on the link. I hope you can see the link I've sent in the chat. Okay, someone's just joined, so I'll send it again. But if you guys could open that link, let me send the link again. And I guess just give me a thumbs up if you were able to open it and you can see the IDE. Give you guys some time to do that. Okay, thanks guys. Let's just wait for the others. Is anyone having problems? Did everybody? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll move on, but if there's any issues, like just do let me know. Next slide, please. Okay. How to run our code. So if you guys let me open the IDE. Yeah, so to run your code, you just press the play button and it will run it on the right. Yeah, what's being shown on the screen. Here we could go, yeah. Yeah, so when we're using print functions, when you have the word print and anything that goes in the brackets, what's going to come out on the other side is whatever's in the bracket of the print. You'll see how that works later. But yeah, next slide, please. Okay, how do we produce an output? We use a print function. So if, I wish I could share my screen, but if we could just go to the IDE, please. I think, let me type it in the chat. Sorry guys, I couldn't share my screen today, but yeah, so like the example, you just want to write the word print, all lowercase, open bracket, speech mark, and whatever you want it to print out. Yeah, so you can see that the output is literally just whatever's in the speech marks. Yeah. So you guys can have a go at that. Just type whatever text you want to see printed out. And yeah. And give me a thumbs up when you've managed to output something. Um, all right, Rudy, could you just mute yourself, please? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you, Adam. Is everybody else getting on okay? Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly explain what we've been doing. Thanks, Ishad. Gonna print out the link again, Rudy. Okay.
Oh, how about you?
Hi, Somto.
Hi, actually, it's Simdi that's supposed to be joining. I wonder, this is Simdi's dad. I need to change her name.
Okay, okay.
Let me amend her name to Simdi. Okay, so Simdi, you can sit down here. Simdi, you're going to help her. Sumto is Simdi's older brother. He will be assisting her, right? I need to get back to work.
All right, thank you. Okay. So I hope everyone managed to try the print functions. Next slide, please. Okay, data is information that can be stored on a computer, such as text or numbers. You can also store images. There's a lot that you can store on computers, and for that we use variables. Variables can be seen as containers for data, and you can also give them a name. And they can have different types depending on what type of data you want to store. So you can store an integer. An integer is a whole number. You could store a decimal number. You could store a string, which is just a bunch of characters put together, and a character is just a letter. So you can store all types of stuff. Next slide. How do we make a variable in Python? So how we make a variable is you want to come up with a variable name. So I'm going to send it in the chat. I'll call it variable name 1. You put an equal sign. And in this circumstance, the equals doesn't mean is the same as. The equal sign is seen as an assignment. So it's like you're assigning 20 to the variable. You're placing the number 20 inside the variable. So you just do variable name equals value. So the variable name in this instance is age, and the value we're putting inside that container is the number 20. So the type of that variable is a number. We're storing a number. Next slide, please. Working with lists. Okay, so before we get onto that, I think I just want you guys to try using variables. So what I want you to do is create your own variable. And then print it out. So we saw how we printed out strings, which is just a word, but you can actually print out variables as well. So create your own variable, use the print function that we learned, and you do print bracket, but instead of speech marks this time, you just put the variable name in there. So print variable name. And what it should do is print out the value in that variable. So go ahead and try that. Give me a thumbs up if it worked. Neil, if you could just go to the IDE and show an example of like printing out a variable, please. Yeah, thanks. Just leave that up for a bit. Okay, back to the slide, please. Okay, onto lists. Next slide. Yeah. Okay. So we learned what variables were, and variables are used to just store one piece of data. You use a variable to store one word, one number, but we have things called lists. You may know of like shopping lists, like we use lists every day, but Python also has lists where you can store multiple words, where you can store multiple numbers. So in this list here, it's called items, and we're storing one, two, three. It stores 6 words: carrots, peas, onions, milk, bread, and sweets. And next slide, please. We can actually access each of the words in this list, and what we call each item in the list, we call it the position of each item in the list is called an index. So with lists in Python, the position starts at 0. So essentially we're counting from 0. I know that might be a bit confusing because we usually count from 1, 2, 3. But in Python, you count from 0. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the word carrots is at the start of this list. So its index or its position is 0 because it's the start and we start with 0. The word peas is at position 1. The word onions is at position 2. The word milk is at position 3. Bread is position 4. And sweets is position 5. I hope that makes sense. And what we've done here is print items square bracket 0. We use square bracket to indicate index or indicate position. So items, which is the name of the list, and 0 means we're printing the very first word. And the very first word is carrots. If you did items square bracket 1, it would print out peas. If you did items square bracket 2, it will print out onions. Okay, hope that makes sense. Next slide, please. Does anyone, maybe you guys can have a go at this question. Does anyone know what the output of this will be, given the explanation that I just gave? Have some time to think about it and send it in the chat for sure. Yes, Cindy, well done. Yeah, it will literally just print out each item in the list. Because the print functions, with the print, it automatically goes to a new line. So it will print carrots, new line, peas, new line, onions. Next slide, please. Okay, using the asterisk or the star operator will print every item in the list. So if you do star items, it will just print out literally everything, like what Cindy just told us. Next slide, please. Okay, so once you've defined the list meaning you've created the list, you've put items inside it, you can actually add an item to the end of the list. And by doing that, and how to do that is we do dot append, just like so, dot append grapes. So could anyone type in the chat what the list will look like after we append grapes to the end of the list? Like, what does the list look like? Yep. Thank you, Cindy. Yep, that's correct. Literally just adds it to the end of the list. Next slide. So it's not just at the end that we can add things to the list. We can actually put stuff at the start as well. And to do that, we don't use a pen, but we use dot insert. So how dot insert works is you have dot insert bracket, the position where you want the word to go. That's the 0 in this case. And then you have what you want to put at position 0, at the position that you specified before. So this line here, items dot insert 0, comma, Ps, means at the start, which is position 0, put the word peas. So the list is now going to look like peas, carrots. Oh, we already have peas there. But yeah, so it would look like peas, carrots, peas, onions, milk, bread, and sweets. So you're just inserting it at the start. Next slide. Yeah, so you can literally insert it anywhere. Insert into position 3, grapes. Again, it's indexed from 0. So it doesn't mean the 3rd position. It actually means the 4th position because it's 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Next slide. Not just adding, but you can also remove items from the list. If we remove peas from the list, then what we have left is carrots, onions, milk, bread, and sweets. Next slide. And so we removed a word. We can delete a specific item in the list by using DEL, which is a shorthand for delete, the name of the list, and then we're using square brackets again to specify which item. So type in the chat. So delete items 0. That means delete the first item. And we already said the first item is carrots. So it will remove carrot from the list, and what you'll have left is peas, onions, milk, bread, sweets. Okay. So what I want you guys to do now is have a go. So all the things that we've learned, try, of what you can remember, try to create your own list. Try to remove something from the list, try to add something to the end of the list. And yeah, just play around with it and see all the things that you can do. I'll give you some time to do that. Let me just remind you. Oh yeah, yes. Okay, so we can do this one. Write a list storing the colors of the rainbow. So I'm gonna type in the chat what you guys can do. You can call the list colors equals, which means assignment, the colors of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, yeah, blue, ooh, red and yellow and pink and green, orange and purple and blue. Indigo and violet are in the rainbow. I didn't know that. I thought it was pink and then purple. Oh, wow. So is it blue, then indigo, then violet? Yeah, right. So that's how you make the list. So the list items you can see are separated by commas because we're using strings, or also known as words or characters put together, letters put together. Um, we put them in speech box. If you were storing numbers, like for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't need the speech marks because numbers are stored differently. It's just the way it is. But yeah, so you can copy and paste that into your IDE, your code space. Um, and you can try deleting things from the list, try adding something to the end. I'll give you some time to do that. One thing I want you to try is, so I sent the append function in the chat. I want you to try to add the string dark red to the list. And remember, append adds it to the end. So when you print it, it should have dark red at the end of the list. If anyone's having any issues, you can on the IDE, if you press Neil, could you go to the IDE, please? If you and could you press the three lines? Yeah, so if you guys press that and then press share, and that link at the top, you can copy and paste that into the chat and I can see your code and I can try to help you. Okay. Um, Zachariah, could you okay. Yeah. But Zachariah, could you make sure make sure you go to share and print the link because you've sent the general link and not your own one. So go to your own code space, press share and copy and paste what's in there. New colors is all the time. Okay. So Adam, you've done, yeah. This is all good. It's just that you're missing an equal sign. And each item in the list needs to have a speech mark. Or else it's gonna think it's all like all one word. Green. I'll just make a note of that in your IDE. Um, this might be useful to know as well. In Python, you can write comments. Comments are just stuff you want to write, but that you don't want to run. So just little comments for yourself, notes that you could call them. And to do that, use a hashtag. You just use that. But yeah, so Adam, I'm gonna comment your code and just let you know. Call sign. Creating a list. Each item needs its own speech mark. Okay. Um, okay. Olasu Boni, sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Um, your code isn't running at all, which is strange. It looks correct. That's weird. This should run. Um, hmm. All right, okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Neil. Yeah. So for you, Olasubomi, um, you've created the list correctly. Well done, but you haven't written anything to print out to the screen. So that's why it's not running anything. But you created the list correctly. What you can do is you could just print it out and then you actually see something. You can print it out, try appending dark red to the end of the list. Make a note of that. Yep. Yeah, adding equals. Adam should be sorted. Yeah, okay. Um, okay. Yeah. So Adam, yours is printing now. Yours is working. See who else. Zachariah, Temi. Don't think yours has been dealt with yet. Um, yeah, Zachariah, yeah. Um, Neil, could you show the oh, thanks, Arjun. Um, could you show Neil, could you show them how to share the link again? Because yeah. So Zachariah, what you need to do is press those three lines, and then you click share. So you need to do it on your own code space, your own website. Because I can't see your code. Okay, Temi, let me look at yours. Yep, Temi, yours is working. Try appending dark red to the end of the list. And okay, finish. Okay, thank you, Zachariah. Okay. Valid syntax. What's that? Okay, so Zachariah, what we use to add items is dot append. So you have to, I'll make a note, dot append dark red. I think, yeah, the reason you've run into a problem is because Python has specific syntax, which means that you kind of have to follow the rules of how to add things and how to remove things. And if you use anything other than like append or insert, it's not going to recognize what you want to do. So for adding, use dot append. To create the list, use, so I see you've used list name here. So what you would do is list name equals, and then all the words that you've written up here. And then to delete. So you try to delete item 3. Yep, you've written it correctly. Just delete items at delete at position 3. But because you've called your list name, instead of items, you would write list name. Because you haven't defined items, so it doesn't know like what you want to delete. I hope that makes sense. I've made a note of it in your space. Okay. I think we're gonna move on now. If you could go back to the slides, please. The length of list. Yeah. So we found out how to delete items from the list, how to add items to the list, how to create lists. You can actually print out how long the list is. So the length of the list is just how many items are in the list. So the number of items in this list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7. So when you print LEN, bracket the name of the list, it will print out 7 because there's 7 items in the list. Next slide, please. Sorry. Okay. So we can actually control how the list is printed out. So when you print out the list with asterisk my list, it should print out with spaces between it, but you can actually specify what you want to go in between the words. So I'll give you an example. If you have list name, red, orange, yellow. So, oh, let me just change that. Yeah. So if you have list name red, orange, yellow, when you print it out, it will print red, orange, yellow, but you can specify what you want to go in between. So in this example, you have sep, which is short for separator. So how you're going to separate each item in the list, and you have a space. And yeah. Next slide, please. \n just means new line. So the N is just short for new line. Next slide. So if you have a separator equals \n, then that means that to separate each item in the list, you're taking each item to a new line because the separator is the new line character. \n is a new line character. Next slide, please. Dot format is a great way to format a string that we want to output in a certain way. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is an example of that. You can see that they've created variable name, variable called age, and they've assigned a word to it and then a number to the next one. Message equals my name is curly bracket 0. I am curly bracket 1. Format name age. So to explain this, so it says dot format name comma age. So in the curly brackets, the curly brackets are almost like placeholders. So by doing dot format name age, you're replacing each curly bracket with the values you've defined above. So by doing format name age, what you're actually printing out is my name is Luke, and I am 19. So it just replaces what's in the curly brackets with what you've put in the format brackets. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, so next slide. Okay. So can I copy and paste this into, you do need to do this quickly because I want you guys to have a chance to ask questions. But yeah. If you could just copy and paste that link in the chat, Neil. Let me see if I can do it. So I've sent the link in the chat. If you guys want to have a look at that. Yeah. So if everybody could just open that link, have a look at the code, and if you run it, you'll see that there's an error on line 10. I hope you guys see that. But it just means that we need to put something in the brackets of the print. And it says we want to print out the heading row. If you look at line 2, there's a variable called heading row, and we want to print that out. So could you guys try to print out that variable if you remember how we do that? And give me a thumbs up when you're done. Also, if you guys have any questions, please send it in the chat because we've got a few minutes left. How do you edit the code? Are you not able to edit it? Okay, Adam, to edit the code, press I hope you guys can see a button. It says fork, Fork, this. So if you press that button, yeah. If you press that, you should be able to edit the code. Okay, I think the session is gonna end soon. But thank you guys all for coming today. I hope you learned something interesting. I hope you do this in your free time. And it's been a pleasure tutoring you today.